Today I want to talk about all books I've read in the month of October. And I know now it's end of December now, but this is fourth attempt to do this video. Sometimes the sound went wrong, sometimes the sound went wrong, sometimes I don't know, it's all gone wrong. So this is fourth attempt, and I still want to talk about books I read in October because October was my best reading month of the whole year. So I really want to share this experience with you. I know it's weird, but look at that from the other point of view. Yes, it's October books, but they're still books. I could read them in any other month and they still will be that wonderful or not wonderful. So relax. And yes, this is October and December at the same time. This is how life here is going all the time. So yeah. October reading month. First of all, I want to mention that October was, of course, a Victober. Victober is a month-long readathon, more like a reading project, yearly, hosted by Kate Howe, Katie from Books and Things, and Lucy from Lucy the Reader. And this is like the most exciting time of the year where people on BookTube read Victorian literature, and I like Victorian literature. Though this year there were some prompts, but I didn't care about them, I forgot of them, and I had my own small project which failed. I wanted to read like a Bronte project. I wanted to read 3 novels by 3 different Bronte sisters. So some of them I read, some of them I didn't. I will tell you all about it right now. First, I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is my first time reading it in English, and I highly recommend this experience. This is a wonderful novel. This is a masterpiece. Yes, it's a hot mess. Yes, it's over the top on the most parts, but it sucked you in, and you can't get out of it. You can't get Wuthering Heights from your head. This is the type of book that you would remember what you were doing reading this book for a long, long time. This is the book, you know, that it was the year when I read Wuthering Heights for the first time. You will remember this book for how long you live. Yeah, I liked it very much. I read it first in Russian translation when I was teenager, and I don't think I understood anything from it really. So here and now was a wonderful time reading it, though I ended up reading the third of this novel in ER room with my toddler, who had ear infection and the highest fever that we ever had, and it didn't go down. And we went to ER and we stayed almost the whole night in there, and she fell asleep because, you know, it's night. And I read Wuthering Heights because I had nothing with me besides Wuthering Heights. I do not recommend this experience. Reading Wuthering Heights where something is bad in your life is a no-no. But Wuthering Heights is a very November, December-ish book when it's cold and ugly outside, curling by the fire, or, you know, just with a warm blanket. With this book, it's a wonderful experience. I highly recommend. Yeah, this is a masterpiece. Also, I took part in Zoom discussion of this book, and I do think it was a wonderful experience for me. I like the company very much, I like the discussion very much, and it was the first time I discussed something in English. So I do think that I will remember this book for a long time. It was on Kate Howe channel, and I will put the link down below of, you know, me discussing this book with other wonderful and very experienced and knowledgeable people, knowledgeable in Victorian literature. So I was like a newcomer there, but still, I mean, I liked it very much, and it was a wonderful experience. Talking about my October experience, I ended up reading almost third of this book. This is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte in mammography room, where, not room, you know, waiting for my mammography because my physician thought that I had breast cancer, and I ended up being absolutely healthy. But it was interesting 2 weeks waiting for mammography to happen, and it was very hard to be done because I am like below age of 40, I'm 37, and they just do not do mammography at all if you are below 40, and they just refused. And you know, it was very hard to push them, even with doctor note that I need to do it ASAP. I waited 3 weeks negotiating things. And then I am happy to say I do not have cancer, but it was interesting, to say at least. And Jane Eyre helped me on the way, because I like this book very much. I dare to say this was my favorite read of the year. It's technically third reread, so I can't, you know, it will be not in my favorites of the year, but it was excellent experience. I listened to it as an audiobook. I will put the narrator here because I forgot, and I highly recommend this as an audiobook because she put her heart and soul in this. And I mean, this is beautiful, the language is beautiful, and the emotions are very well done. There were parts of the book that I forgot absolutely about. Again, I read it as a teen, so you know, different perspective for sure. I liked the most in this book, I liked the character of Jane Eyre. I forgot how strong this woman was. I forgot how sharp on the tongue she was. I forgot her principles, you know, and her moral core. I forgot all about this. I do not think this is a love story in, you know, romance understanding. This is not a romance. This is coming of age story of a very strong-willed person, and it's incredible how her personality moves the world around her, even if sometimes it is, of course, over the top. This is, by the way, Victorian literature, so it has to be over the top. I liked it very much, and I can't say that this book saved me, because no, but I mean, it helped me on my way, definitely. And I wanted to read The Tenant of Wiltwell Hall, but haven't read it. So this is my read for next year, maybe. But yeah, this is why my Bronte project failed, because Anne Bronte I failed to read. But yeah, I will read it next time. Now let's return for my non-Victorian literature that I've read in the month of October. I want to quickly mention Still Life by Louise Penny. I ended up reading this book on 3rd of October, I think. So technically it's an October read. But I included this book in my September wrap-up because I talked about mysteries in there. What I want to tell now that, first of all, the series definitely goes better. Second volume is much better, and I highly recommend audiobook narrated by Ralph Koshem. I do think this is a wonderful narration, and I do think this is my favorite way of reading Louise Penny series about Chief Inspector Gamache, because it takes place in Montreal, which is French-Canadian part of Canada. Which is almost French-speaking, like at least part of the people are French-speaking, and there are a lot of French words in here, and you know, French landmarks, French-named landmarks. And I studied French at school, so I understand a little bit. It was so nice to hear this in French while, you know, he narrated this book. I do think he has a slight accent, which again gives it more charm. And I do think that he, as a Chief Inspector Gamache, is beautifully wonderful. And yeah, narration is top-notch. I highly recommend this narration. And I highly recommend this series. I can't wait to read more of it, because there are like 15 books. So yeah, I am here for a treat. Another mystery I've read was Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. It was for a book club which I couldn't get into. I was doing something else on this day, or my kids were sick like the whole October, so it can be that. I don't remember already. It's a wonderful story. I didn't remember it, so it's again was +1 to my experience. I like Agatha Christie. I really like Poirot series. I found something to like in each one of them. I don't think it was like more of a 4-star read for me, but still I like the mystery, I like the characters. There is Miss Ariadne Oliver in here, which is wonderful and very funny, and I like their banter with Poirot. Also I really want to watch a movie adaptation of this, because like a part of a series, because the very important part of this book is one particular garden. The way how it described is very important, and I really want to see how they will do this on screen, because I really need some scenery to imagine it, because it was hard for me. I haven't seen that many gardens, especially English gardens, especially some strange and interesting gardens. So yeah, highly recommend another Agatha Christie. And there were 2 more books I've read. First of them was not very good. I gave it 3 stars. Maybe it's more like a 2.5 star, but I give 2 stars for a book that I am mad about. Like, I do not like it to the point that I want to throw it away. That's my 2 star. So I mean, it was 3 star. Technically it was not bad, it was just not for me and I didn't enjoy it too much, but still I think I can recommend it for all history lovers. This was the Borgia Bride by Jen Kalogridis. I hope I pronounced it right, I'm really sorry if not. This is an interesting story about Borgia era in Rome, and the main protagonist is Sancho of Aragon, who was married into Borgia dynasty and moved to Rome. And this book is full of political intrigue, of court intrigue, of sex, but there are not much description, which is good. I do not like sex in the books, like vivid descriptions of sex. It's very close in tone to Game of Thrones, but not that violent, but still it's very close to all this political intrigue and people doing really bad things to each other. Yes, the writing is not very good. That was my main complaint. The writing is bad, and I think it was trying to be romance, but it was more like historical political intrigue book, but there was a lot of feelings and passion, and I didn't think it's sweet, this book, a lot, like not very much. Though the things that I thought were the most outrageous and I couldn't even imagine them happening, and I definitely thought that was the imagination of the author. At the end of the book there was a list of all things that were true and all things that she added to the history, and the worst things, they were true, like the most strange, worst, like cruel and all the things. So what I want to say, this is the first book I've ever read from this period of time, from that place. I do not know much about this. I never read anything about medieval Italy, I think, but it's an interesting topic, it's just interesting place and time, So if you like historical fiction and you want something very different, and because almost all historical fiction is World War I or World War II, so this is very different, and this is not bad actually, it just was not for me. There was nothing for me to love in this book, but still something very different and interesting, so I do think I can recommend it for historical fiction lovers. But yeah, I don't know where they translated in English, but in Soviet Union were very popular books about Angelique by Anna Serge Golon. French authors. This is very similar in tone. This book is like that, but not like that at the same time. Do with it what you want. I can't recommend it, but then I can't say it was a bad book, so something in between. And the book I really liked, and it was strange, but maybe it will be my favorite book of the year. I do not know yet. Was Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. I did a separate video about this book on the channel, and this book is really strange because it's not a good thriller, but also it is a good book. And there is wonderful character study in there, and you know, suburban gossip and suburban mysteries are in there, and I really like the study of the family and different types of parenting, and I like a lot of thoughts in this book. I like all the characters. The ending, I don't want to spoil it, but I really can't. I mean, the ending will be not satisfying for most of thriller lovers, what I want to say. But I do think it suits this book very much. I do think this is a right ending for this book and for this year. You know, this was perfect book for me in this year. It was interesting enough to keep me reading. It has a lot of interesting thoughts, and I liked them, and I was interested in characters, but it was not cruel, not violent, nothing like that. And I definitely can't stand these things now because my nerves are just, I do think that a lot of people are too nervous now to stand something very thrilling, sorry, but you understand me. And yeah, I do think this book was just very good, and it was very good for me at that period of time. Again, October was like the worst month in the whole year, but I had like the best reading month. I've read 6 books. 4 of them were 5 stars. One of them was like 4.5, almost 5 stars, and one of them was 3 stars, but still interesting 3 stars. So this was like my best reading month in the whole year, and that's why I really wanted to do a video of it, even, you know, in December. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll enjoy it. I hope you'll maybe find something interesting for the next reading year in it. And yeah, stay tuned. See you in the next video. Bye.